For some of you, the weekend's already started, but what are you going to do? We're going to do a little live mailbag for you. I don't know that it's really live because it is a podcast, but Kyle sent over a ton of emails, so I appreciate that. Again, if you want to email us for this segment, it is lifeadvicerr@gmail.com. And I'm ready to roll, Kyle, if you are ready. So we'll do that first. How's that sound?
Yeah, I can't wait.
Okay. All right. I like that you get the microphone there because people were worried about you there for a little while. Okay. I did flag the right ones here, I hope. I did. Okay. Let's start with everybody wants to be anonymous here.
Can you blame him?
No, but I don't. I think he's giving me a fake name here. Okay. I got to come up with, let's call this guy Frank. All right, Frank. First, I want to say I'm a huge fan. Can't tell you how much I appreciate the content. Okay. All right. Laying out some quick facts here. Here's my situation. 28, married a year and a half, been together 9 years total. Man, shout out for commitment. That's early, 19. What are you, from Canada? We'll find out. First kid on the way, due in July. Oh, both of us have lived in Michigan our whole lives. So there you go. Close to Canada. It was close. Currently live about 4 hours from both my parents and my wife's mom. Her dad passed away a few years ago. Sorry to hear about that. So he says, look, I'm at a job now. It's fine. A lot of you guys start these emails this way. So let's see what this one has. I don't love it, but I'm making decent money and it's stable. For example, I'm usually in an office setting every day, but I'm able to work from home since the start of the stay-at-home order. Shocker. A lot of us have, man, which I'm super grateful for considering the millions who've lost their jobs. Well said. I was lucky enough to get hired straight out of college after getting to know a few of my professors who were well-connected in the industry that my degree is in. I've been at this place 5 years, climbed the ladder pretty quickly due to some fortunate circumstances from an entry-level position to director of ops. Now to the advice part. I have a potential job lined up in Colorado. My old boss took a job out there a year ago, has been adamant about creating a position for me to become his number two. You know what you need in any office is a strong number two. I've been considering this for months, slightly before we found out my wife was pregnant. So he was considering this the whole time, and then that happened. He just found out the wife's pregnant. He's like, moving out west is the dream that both. Oh, he says his wife also has this, because it sucks having solo dreams when you're married, right, man? Since I can remember, we love the outdoors, having grown up in Michigan and living in a place like Glenwood Springs or Colorado. I'm trying to keep him anonymous here. Be right up our alley. Okay. It also includes a significant pay increase, which it should because of the difference in cost of living. Okay, so now here's the point. With our firstborn on the way, dynamics change a little. It's tough because I know we're going to want to be around family, but it's not like we live 20 minutes from them. It's now a 4-hour drive, one way to see them. 4 hours, one way to see parents. Is it still okay to pursue our dream of living out west if it means sacrificing distance between ourselves and our kid with families, especially considering everything going on with the coronavirus? Okay. He also says there's great relationships with the parents, by the way. I can tell you this. It's something I never thought about until I got older, and then your friends start having families, is that the proximity to parents that you get along with, is one of the greatest things ever when you're going to start a family, because you have this freedom that a lot of other people aren't going to have. Like, having family around is one of the greatest things, because there's an intimate trust there of these people watching over your kids. And it allows you that break that I think parents, a lot of divorces, I always feel like, you don't want to say it's the kid's fault, but the dynamic can change so much. And if you don't have the means, or you don't have the proximity, or somebody's really, really busy, the fairness and sharing of the kid can get totally screwed up. And, somebody resents the other person, and all of a sudden it's like, I liked you, I just don't like this situation. So, having said all those things, if they're 4 hours away, they might as well be 40 hours away. Because 4 hours, let's put it this way, anything over like a 2.5-hour drive is just far enough that it's not going to be like the pop in, right? Like, my brother lives in Thousand Oaks, and I don't go see them all the time. And I just went to visit because they have a niece, or it's my niece, is technically, I love the term. She's 1.5, and I spent the night up there and loved it, and was like, I love hanging out with my little niece here. But usually that's a 2-hour drive, depending on the day. And this time it was an hour, and we're both like, yeah, it's not super convenient. So the point is I would say this. I always think everybody should move, even if you like where you're from. People are small. I think the small towns, it happens a little bit more. I know Martha's Vineyard, where I'm from, has it a lot, where it's this kind of thing where you just always want to be there. You like your little bubble. You feel safer, more protected. But if you don't have family like down the street and you want to live in Colorado, I'm a huge Colorado fan. I think everybody should always make the move once. And at this point, too, you can do it because your kid's not even going to be in school. So I would say absolutely make the move and worry about the other stuff later. I would not be making I wouldn't decide to not move because of the coronavirus. That's not the way I would plan out anything. So I would say go ahead and move. I mean, it's great that you have a great relationship with your parents. Would love to have the kind of relationship where if I were starting a family and I knew like my mom and dad were coming over and the grandparents are going to be hanging out. Well, that's never going to happen for me. So I don't even think about it. Like I don't even though I could appreciate how much it would be great to have that as an option, but it sounds like you don't even have that as an option. So I would say go ahead, pack up the bags, move to Colorado. You can always move home because when you do move and you kind of regret the move, it makes you appreciate going home that much more. Problem solved. Next one. Oh, here's one. This guy wants to be called RD. His nickname is Research and Development. Oh, a script. I do get thrown a lot of these my way. Let's just put I need to be a tad more established before I can green light your idea. Okay. That's just something to think about before maybe you send me a proposal. But RD just chimes in. He didn't get the warning ahead of time. I've got a pilot done for the script I wrote and was wondering if I should pursue it. It's about a dynamic dude that gets into partying and it changes his life for better and for worse. Ooh. I want to show the good times, but also how this person evolved and devolved as a human being along the way. Think of a more fun, relatable version of Euphoria if you've seen it. Story takes place in Westchester, New York. Do you think this would work / be unique? I got to tell you, Blink reaction, it feels a tad thin. It feels a little thin. When Bill Lawrence was on with us, creator of Scrubs, Spin City, Cougar Town, Whiskey Cavalier, he said that everybody he's ever met was always like, oh, I have this story and it's never been done before. And he's like, yeah, it has. It just didn't get made. I just think you needed a couple more characters here before it's just a guy who parties a lot and then we see the good side and bad side. I'm not saying it's a terrible idea. Write what you know, right, RD? But it's going to need a little bit more depth. That's my first guess. Let's do a quick read. Speaking of partying, during this time of social distancing, connecting with friends over beer today looks pretty different. As the original light beer, Miller Lite has always been there to bring people together in real life through Miller Time. Miller Time is a moment for people to come together in real life to connect over a few beers, but having Miller Time is tough when you can't be with your people. I'm most excited to see anyone, honestly. The script says, who do I most want to see? I don't really even care at this point. This has been a pretty intense isolation for your boy over here. So I'd be excited to get into an argument with a stranger at this point. Miller Lite is the beer that makes Miller Time possible. Miller Lite is the only original light beer that tastes great and is less filling, which means it won't get in the way of enjoying time with your people. You know what I've said about Miller Lite, right? That little can, that little white can of goodness. Just go. This feels like home. It feels like the end of the quarantine. I'm not guaranteeing it, but I just, Miller Lite, the original light beer. While you're home, enjoy a classic available for delivery today. Celebrate responsibly. Miller Brewing Company, Milwaukee, Wisconsin. 96 calories and 3.2 carbs per 12 ounces. Okay, another one. This guy just turned 27, and his question is, should I buy a house or a condo? Kyle, are you a homeowner? Greg?
Shock. I'm not.
Not a huge. Any plans?
Still boosting the credit. It does kill me to pay rent. It really does.
Where's the credit score right now?
It's like sevens. It's did you know there's 2 credit scores?
Well, what do you mean?
Well, it depends. Well, it depends on, so I went to get a loan for something and, I got my stuff through the Chase app and I could see my credit score thing through Capital One, credit wise or something. And I thought my shit was like through the roof. And then I went to go, down to put the pen to paper and they're like, hey, so we have to use the lowest one that we could find. And Experian, which is, I think the standard, is a little bit different than what mine says. So I'm still trying to work through that.
And when you get older, you're going to learn there's a third credit score. Did you know that?
No, I didn't.
So there's 3 different companies that do your credit score.
So it's Experian. It's is it like Western Connection or something? What's it called?
That sounds like a dating website. No, it's TransUnion and Equifax.
TransUnion, that's what
right. So you're going to do, like, there's all those credit repair things. You know what? You know what fixes your credit score? Paying your fucking bills. Okay. I signed up for that stuff. Look, I screwed it up in my 20s, like a lot of people do. You don't understand. I also think credit scores can be a bit like being a social outcast, where if you know everybody in your town already thinks you're a weirdo, it's the same thing with your credit score. Like when it's low, then you keep making decisions that aren't ever going to help it.
on par,
You're like,
on
whatever.
par with your score.
Yeah, you're just like, whatever. My credit sucks anyway, so now I don't care. And it wasn't like I was charging stuff on a credit card and not paying it. It was just, I got behind on my student loan because of an arrangement that didn't get fulfilled, and I was screwed. So I took a job for no money, thinking the student loan thing I was going to be fine, and then I wasn't. And then I was like, all right, well, this is shattering all of it. Yes, there's 3 scores. The whole credit score thing's stupid. Like the fact that mine will go down as I'm trying to refi something, because then they farm it out to a bunch of different people to run your number and then it goes down. Or when I bought the last house, the guy tried to come back at me and say, the credit score got dinged a little bit. I was like, well, that's because I have a ton of credit card like balance, but it's not over 30 days. He's like, yeah, the credit card balance is a little high. And, we might have to tweak the number a little bit, which I think is total bullshit anyway, that they were just trying to do this to mess with the score a little. And I go, the only reason the credit card balance is high right now is because I actually am moving across the country and I've had a lot of expenses in these last 30 days. Like, you get that, right? Like that I would be spending more normally than, usual on a credit card, because I can't tell if today's podcast sucks or is, I don't know. Like, hey, yeah, Russillo went for 12 minutes on the flaws of credit. Credit scores are,
it's tricky, man.
Yeah, part of it I get, but there's another part of it that's really nasty. Like if you close out a credit card you don't want anymore, then your credit score goes down. Like what is that? Like, if anything, it should be like, hey, look how stable this guy is. He's getting back to paper bills. Scores through the roof. Okay, so let's call our guy AJ, because I just turned 27, doing the whole corporate accounting thing in Columbus. Sneaky nice
Columbus
city, he says.
Right.
I would agree. 10 years ago, not the case. He's been living with roommates the past few years, which is awesome. More fun, keeps the rent cheap. Roommate is moving in with his girlfriend at the end of the summer. I will most likely be living by myself and thinking about buying a small place condo, but I don't know if that's just me forcing it because that's what everyone is doing around me. Life advice for buying your first place. Any regrets from your home purchase? Should I keep renting? Okay. So we talked with you, Kyle, about that. How old are you?
26.
Yeah, 26, LA property. It's probably not coming around the corner. Let's get that credit back down. Let's start putting a certain number that you have to make yourself save before you buy yourself vapes or anything like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the only way you can do it.
I got the automatic savings out happening right now.
Yeah, you got to take it out. It doesn't even exist, and then it just grows on its own like weeds in the back.
Kind of crazy.
Yeah, isn't it?
First time.
My first time home purchase was weird because I thought I was getting married. I was buying a place with somebody else. And then while we were looking for the place, we broke up. So I was like, all right. So then I kept looking at like mini Connecticut mansions because I just thought that that's what I was supposed to do. And the realtor's like, you realize you're probably not starting a family now. So I was like, yeah, that's fair. So I went condo townhouse, because I was also doing college football a lot, and I didn't realize, I never wanted to be a condo guy, but what I didn't realize is that when you're gone all the time and that stuff gets taken care of and people mow your lawn and all that kind of stuff, and I wouldn't even say they did a great job with it, it is kind of nice. So I got a 3-bedroom just for resale and renting. So you may want to keep it, but if you're buying a 1-bedroom condo, you're really limiting who you're going to be able to sell it to. So I would say get at least a 2-bedroom. The payment thing isn't that big of a deal. I always because I think our older generation here, and I'm talking about my parents, it was always you're fixed and that was your retirement, all the money that you put in, the principal and paying down the house. You're not going to live in this place for 30 years. So I would say keep the payment low. It's going to be lower than your rent is. There's all sorts of great products out there. Credit doesn't suck. And I would get on one of those. And then look, if you don't like it and you're lonely and you don't like living by yourself in a 2-bedroom condo, you can rent out the other room. Or you can rent out the whole thing and move in with your friends when his girlfriend dumps him. Problem solved. Okay. We're getting a lot of workout ones. Everybody's different. I am incredibly overrated in this department. I don't know how to help you. Some of you guys just aren't going to fill out, man. I hate saying that to you, but it's just not going to, some of you guys just aren't going to be huge. Sorry. I tell you to go to Instagram. There's a lot of workouts there that you can find. But okay, this is a weird one. This is from a guy that plays football. I don't know if I'm going to say anybody's name now because I'll just not say the guy's name because everybody's going to be able to figure it out if I do. A couple questions, little background on me. I'm a football player at K-State, prepping for my senior season. Have to adjust my training quite a bit due to the lack of access to weights. I was wondering what type of training you've been doing. Oh, see, here we go. Been doing during the quarantine. I assume with all the high prices on things like weights, you've adjusted your program quite a bit. Well, I actually am not in college, so I have a paycheck. So I spent way too much money on Rogue equipment. And I've got the full squat rack in my house now with a bench, plates, the whole deal. But he asked if I was doing more high reps, low weight. God, what is the point here? I would love to learn a little more about your style. Also, during school, I bartended events at a local hotel. During one event, a customer ordered a Moscow Mule, which is not on our menu. Keep in mind, there was a keg provided for the beer event. Am I within bartender rights to kick her out? This guy's a meathead. You wanted to kick out of a girl from a hotel event because she asked for a Moscow Mule? Moscow Mules are incredible. They're really tasty. They're refreshing is all hell. And I don't know if I even want to give you any workout tips, man. Sound mean. This isn't even real. This email's not real, Kyle. I don't well, I don't know. I just looked. It might be real. I love that he likes the show. I like that he's checking in. I don't like that you thought it was okay to kick somebody out for asking for a Moscow Mule. I may not have all the information here. And I would say go on Instagram. Just go and look at those guys. They're somehow still in Bali in biking shorts working out. I don't know how that happened during a quarantine, but it's happening. Okay, last one, Kyle. There are some really good ones in here that you sent, so thanks. Ryan, at what age or what point did you accept being single and focusing on all of your attention on sports and other interests you have? I feel conflicted between wanting to find a girlfriend because I want the connection and continuing to watch 40-plus hours of sports per week. This whole quarantine situation hasn't been super helpful for this situation, either with the inability to socially date while also not having 3 hours of Dodgers games and NBA playoff games to rewatch every night. Thanks. Here's what I'm going to tell you, man. Okay, every single thing we do in life is a negotiation. If you are the one that's like the more desirable one in the relationship, because we can pretend it doesn't exist, but it does all exist. If you're like a catch for her versus her being a catch for you, you're probably going to be able to watch 40-plus hours a week of sports, even with a girlfriend. Now, if she is a catch for you and maybe is your apex mountain of dating, to use the rewatchables term, guess what you're not going to be doing, bud? You're not going to be watching 40 hours of baseball a week. You're just not. You know what's really hard to do is to justify to your girlfriend and then wife that you need to watch 40 hours of baseball or basketball a week, and that's not even including football, when you don't get paid for it. I get paid for it. And people that hang out with me still are like, are you serious? Like, you can't dial it back a little bit? And I was like, So I've had a lot of guys kind of chime in on this deal where you go, hey, how are you able to do the 40 hours a week thing or whatever? And you just go, what? Like, what are you talking about? And be like, well, my girlfriend doesn't really want me to do this. I'm like, okay, so she doesn't want you to watch 40 hours of baseball a week or basketball, or whatever it is. And you want to still have her as your girlfriend? Like, well, sort of. I'm like, you just answered your own question. You don't like her. It's not the baseball. If you like the other person enough or you don't want it to end, you will watch less baseball. I think it's pretty simple. Okay, Brian Curtis coming up here in a second, but I want to tell you about Post.